So as we get closer to this fall's crucial midterm elections, Joe Biden's poll numbers continue to slide. Sliding Biden. Take a look at this new CNN poll. Nearly 60% of Americans disapprove of the job Biden is doing. 58% disapprove, while only 41% approve. His numbers have plummeted since December, when his approval rate was 49%. Is this further proof of a growing red wave leading to a Republican victory in the fall? Joining me now is Republican Oklahoma Senator James Lankford. Senator, so let's talk about the timing of the State of the Union that's going to happen on March 1st. I mean, it's very late for a president in his first term, first State of the Union, to go that late into the year to deliver the State of the Union. I think he was hoping for a little bit of turnaround in the inflation picture, and it's just getting worse and worse. What are your thoughts? Why so late?
Yeah, he's so late because everything he's done has been so late. You think about the budget aspects that he's done. You just tick off anything that he's tried to get accomplished. Everything's been late. Everything's been behind. His White House has been extremely disorganized. Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi still haven't done last year's budget. That was due September the 30th. They're now just doing another continuing resolution saying we'll do it sometime in March. So everything that they've tried to do has been late because they've been focused on breaking the filibuster, trying to be able to give away money to folks, trying to be able to federalize elections. All the things that they've failed to be able to do has kept them from doing the essential things that they're actually assigned to do constitutionally.
So earlier today, there was a press conference from the Pentagon or State Department. I'm not sure where it was. Jake Sullivan came out, and he was talking about getting Americans out of Ukraine immediately because they're fearful of an imminent attack from Putin. Does the U.S. Senator Lankford think that Putin will go into Ukraine?
I think he can. Obviously, he's set up to be able to go in at any point. I think no one really knows except for Putin, but he clearly has moved troops in on three sides. He is well prepared and well positioned to be able to move in and try to be able to crush the Ukrainian government. One of the factors of this from the very beginning has been Biden immediately relieving sanctions on the Nord Stream 2 pipeline, basically giving a green light to Russia to say that we're going to allow you to be able to just gain more money and more influence into Europe. This is one more piece. Everyone knew that this was one of the plans that the Kremlin had, is that they would hope to be able to do this. So the key thing that we can do at this point is to be able to actually be forceful in this process and to be clear on sanctions. We don't need to have American troops there, but to be able to make a clear statement to the Russians that if you move, we could do this. But the Biden administration so far is saying, well, if they do something, then we'll try to respond. It's so much better to try to stop a war before it starts than to try to stop a war once it's already in progress. So stop it before it starts is so much better. And so far, they've failed to do that. Again, they're late to respond on the most basic of things they need to do.
You know, I wish he would do. I'm a libertarian. I really prefer us staying out of that part of the world. There doesn't seem to be any reason for us to get involved and lose treasure and or life there. My thing here, Senator, is like the first thing Biden did was he canceled the Keystone XL pipeline. Now, we talk about it a lot, but here it is. It's coming full circle right now on the news today. Today, oil traded $95 a barrel. When he took office, it was around $45. It's more than doubled since Biden took office. If he had just let us continue to produce our own oil, we wouldn't have to worry about what was going on between Russia and Ukraine.
Yep, that's actually the big issue there, that he canceled the Keystone pipeline and then relieved sanctions on the Russians. So literally, he cut off our production in North America and then said, but the Russians can go sell to Europe and have greater leverage in Europe. I'm the same way. I don't think we need to have our blood and treasure there, but we've had Americans on the ground training the Ukrainians for years, including some Oklahomans that have been there actually training their military so they can defend themselves. It's not good to see an active Russia sweeping over Europe. They're moving right into Ukraine, then right into NATO allies and such. That's not healthy for Europe, to say the least, or for the free world. But we should have been stronger for a long time to be able to make it very clear that if you move, these are the consequences economically. We lose track of how small of an economy Russia really has. They're not this dominant powerhouse economy like the United States. Sanctions do matter to them and do have an influence on the decision making there, and they should have already been there a long time ago.
Yeah, sanctions matter, but you know what matters more? The price of oil. And so all the saber rattling along that border, especially with Germany going, hey, what about our gas that's supposed to come through here from Russia? Yep. Is that going to be disrupted? Is pushed the price of oil up? And again, I'll just go back to this again. Had we kept Keystone Pipeline online, had we kept continuing continuing to allow drilling in the places that liberals hate drilling, offshore in certain areas in certain federal lands and federal waters, if we continue to allow that, we might not have to have a situation where Russia has so much influence in the region. Maybe we'd be able to say, I don't think you should do that, but we have our oil, so maybe it's not something you want to do. Vlad,
Yep.
Final thought.
Yep, I would say that, Eric, you're dead on straight. Dealing with the Keystone Pipeline, dealing with federal permitting, federal lands are for the use of all Americans. And when the Biden administration cuts off and says, we can't use any of the federal lands for the benefit of Americans and our energy production, that's absurd. They've also cut off the permitting locally in the regional offices. Yep. They pulled it up to D.C., so that slows it down dramatically. So this is very much the intent. Just like watching 2 million people come across the border was the design of the Biden administration, they're trying to force up the price of oil and gas so they can push people into solar and wind and other technologies and say, if we raise the price so high on fossil fuels, then you'll go to it. What's the result of that? 7.5% inflation. People hate the price of gas. And 72% of Americans say America's on the wrong track because they feel this is not the right way to go.
Yep. I'll tell you one more thing. The price of oil today, $95 a barrel. That takes about 45 days to work its way through the refining system and hit a gas pump. Guess what, folks? You're in store for a lot higher gas prices in the next 2 months. Senator James Lankford, thank you for joining us. Talk to you again soon, friend.
Always good to see you,